While watching the news on television, Kim Sunwoo learns that today at 8 p.m., an S-class mage, Lee Seo-jun, has died during a mission. Sunwoo is deeply shocked upon hearing the report. The news reporter continues by explaining the circumstances of Lee Seo-jun's death. Seo-jun lost his life while subduing the evil dragon Regressed, which had appeared in downtown Seoul. During the battle, Seo-jun met his end. At the age of 25, Seo-jun had debuted as a mage in 2034 and quickly gained immense public admiration for resolving countless dangerous cases. Memorial altars for Seo-jun are scheduled to be set up across the country, and the public remains in great shock after learning of his passing. Sunwoo turns off the television, muttering that none of this makes any sense. Looking utterly stunned, he asks himself if the main character really dies at this point in the story. Still in disbelief, he tries to convince himself that it must be some kind of joke. The Seo-jun mentioned on the news was a 25-year-old genius mage and the young hero admired by everyone in this era. However, what matters even more is that Seo-jun is Sunwoo's classmate and also the main character of the novel upon which this world is based, Modern Wizard. Seo-jun is the protagonist. If everything had followed the original plot, the story was supposed to end happily, and Sunwoo believed that he would be able to return to his original world. Now, with the main character dead, all of Sunwoo's hopes are shattered, leaving him in complete despair. Sitting silently on the sofa, Sunwoo wonders what will happen next. He had believed that once the novel ended, he would be able to see his friends again. Now, let's find out how Sunwoo was transmigrated into the world of the novel. While having dinner with his friends, one of them asks a question. He wonders if someone who becomes a background extra in a novel should either seize all the lucky opportunities or avoid them entirely. He then asks which side they would choose. The female friend replies that she is not stupid, so she would obviously take all the lucky chances for herself. At that time, however, Sunwoo replies that there is no way he would do that. When asked for his reason, Sunwoo explains that interfering could make things unstable, and the main character might even die if someone sticks their nose in where it does not belong. If that happens, then everything would be ruined. Hearing this, his friend asks whether Sunwoo truly believes he would never step forward. Sunwoo replies that it would not be easy, as he would have to endure unimaginable hardships. Moreover, he is not confident that he could work as hard as the main character. Sunwoo's friend realizes that he has a valid point. At that moment, Sunwoo notices that he has received a notification on his smartphone. He opens it to take a look and then informs his friends that it says he has won some kind of event. The friend sitting next to him becomes interested and asks what kind of event it is. Sunwoo reads the message, which claims to be from OK, the author of Modern Wizard. The sender congratulates Sunwoo for winning the event and informs him that he has received a special travel ticket to a very special place. Soon after, a confirmation message appears, asking Sunwoo whether he wants to claim the reward. Sunwoo excitedly blurts out in front of his friends that they are sending him on a trip. The female friend is amazed and compliments Sunwoo on his unbelievable luck. The friend beside him looks jealous and asks when Sunwoo even applied for something like that. Sunwoo decides to claim the reward and clicks the Yes button. After clicking the button, he happily raises his smartphone into the air. In the very next moment, Sunwoo finds himself standing inside a magic circle in another world. Sunwoo was wearing the same clothes as the students present there, so the others assumed he was just another student who had climbed onto the magic circle while it was being drawn. That was how Sunwoo fell into the novel he loved reading, Modern Wizard. Now, Sunwoo finds himself in a very dire situation because the story has become tangled, and the original plot is not allowed to change. Because of this, Sunwoo has only been acting outside the main storyline, yet he continues to wonder where everything went wrong. Suddenly, the television stops working, which leaves Sunwoo even more confused. He stands up to check the television, but when he casually looks outside through the window, he notices the sky cracking and glowing with a pink light. He is deeply shocked and wonders what is happening, so he moves closer to the window to take a better look. There, he sees that all the people within the novel's world are slowly fading away. He shouts in panic, asking what is happening, and at that moment, a notification appears informing him that Seo-jun has died, causing all main scenarios to be marked as failed. Since the scenario can no longer proceed, the system decides to reset the world. Sunwoo becomes terrified and anxious, and in the next moment, his body begins to crack and shatter. He finds himself surrounded by darkness, but soon hears someone calling out to him, referring to him as a student and ordering him to stop sleeping and wake up because they have arrived at the school. Sunwoo gasps, taking a deep breath as he opens his eyes. He realizes that he is sitting on a bus, and the bus driver is scolding him for sleeping even though they have already arrived at the school. Startled, Sunwoo quickly apologizes and steps off the bus, wondering why the driver addressed him as a student. As he thinks about it, Sunwoo remembers that he was in his room only moments ago, so he cannot understand why he has woken up on a bus. He feels as though the world has ended and wonders if everything he experienced was just a dream. As bright sunlight falls on him, Sunwoo notices the academy building standing in front of him. He soon realizes that this is the school from which he once graduated. However, something feels wrong, as the date displayed reads 2032, which was 7 years ago. Sunwoo inspects his body and is struck with fear when he realizes that he has gone back 7 years into the past. Soon after, the principal addresses everyone entering the Korea Magic Academy and gives a brief introduction to the entrance and opening ceremony. The announcer then instructs the students to take their seats. While everyone around him appears cheerful and is chatting excitedly, Sunwoo feels like he is on the verge of losing control. Standing there alone, he realizes that everything is exactly the same as it was 7 years ago. With no other choice, Sunwoo is forced to accept that he has returned to the past. Sunwoo begins to think about the reason behind Seojun's death. According to the original story, there was absolutely no reason for Seojun to die. Krua's going berserk was exactly how the plot was supposed to unfold, and after a fierce battle, Seojun was meant to defeat the dragon. Since this did not happen, Sunwoo concludes that there must have been another hidden cause behind Seojun's death. While sitting in his seat, Sunwoo mutters angrily that he does not understand it, then turns around and looks at the other students happily chatting with one another. This makes him consider the possibility that Seojun could die again in this life. Sunwoo wonders whether he would be sent back to the past once more or if the world would simply end. Nothing is certain right now, but one thing is clear. He must not allow Seojun to die again. This time, Sunwoo decides that he will make the first move. If he wants to return to his original world, he must prevent Seojun's death and see the novel through to its proper ending. To achieve this, Sunwoo knows he must first grow closer to the main characters. With that in mind, he greets a girl who is about to sit beside him. Hearing Sunwoo's greeting, Yuera looks at him with, she is a second-year student who ranked second overall in the school and is also one of the people Sunwoo needs to get close to, starting now. Era coldly asks Sunwoo if he knows her, then turns her head and questions when they ever met for him to act so familiar. Sunwoo is stunned by her reaction and finds himself unable to respond. His silence only adds fuel to Era's irritation, and she glares at him, demanding to know if he has something to say. Sunwoo, confused, replies that he does not, so she coldly orders him to look somewhere else because he is making her uncomfortable. At that moment, Sunwoo realizes that this is not going to be easy. Soon after, the teacher instructs each grade representative to come up onto the stage. 3 students walk forward and stand before the audience. The students are amazed by Seojun's presence, and rumors quickly spread that he trained under Chairman Kim Jin-chul, leading many to believe that his talent is on an entirely different level. Seojun is currently a second-year student and is ranked first overall. Listening to the students' chatter, Sunwoo realizes that Seojun is already famous despite still being a student. Modern Wizard was essentially a power fantasy novel in which the main character dominated every situation. Next, the students notice a beautiful freshman who is also the top-ranked student of her year. She looks toward the crowd and cheerfully waves her hand, making Sunwoo realize that even her smile is calculated and that her true goal is to build connections. The students know very little about the third representative, a senior who has been ranked first for 3 consecutive years. Despite this impressive achievement, his appearance and presence do not seem particularly overwhelming. Even Sunwoo knows little about him, as he had very little screen time even in the original storyline. The teachers then announce the start of the student oath. The class representatives raise their hands and begin reciting it, and at that moment, Sunwoo notices Era trembling while clenching her fist. She appears to be in peak condition, radiating an intense aura that makes even Sunwoo start to sweat. Seeing this as an opportunity to score some points, Sunwoo decides to speak up. He comments that it is unfortunate for Era. She hears him clearly and looks at Sunwoo with asking if he is talking to her. Sunwoo confirms that he is, and Era demands to know what he means by calling it unfortunate. Sunwoo glances at Seojun and honestly replies that he thinks Era is better than the two people standing on the stage. This only intensifies Era's anger, and she asks whether he is trying to be funny without knowing anything, or if he has ever seen them use magic. Sunwoo hesitates and admits that he has not, prompting Era to ask why he would say something like that in the first place. Sunwoo responds that he can simply tell by looking. Era is clearly surprised by his answer, and Sunwoo confidently adds that he has good instincts. This completely shatters Era's patience, and she angrily asks if Sunwoo is deliberately messing with her. Sunwoo immediately denies it, then pauses to think, wondering why his approach is not working. Deciding to change tactics, Sunwoo asks Era if she has been worrying about her future lately. Era is startled and asks how he knows that. She then glares at Sunwoo, calls him by name, and coldly states that she will remember it, warning him never to speak to her again. After saying this, Era stands up and leaves, while Sunwoo is left in despair, realizing that he may have messed things up right from the very beginning. The Magic Academy's new semester begins with an evaluation test held on the first day, determining everyone's ranking. It serves as an initiation test in which the students reveal their abilities before the entire academy. That is why the students are filled with frustration over what they are going to do about the evaluation test. Some believe they have the skills to overcome it, while others think they are completely doomed. Among them, the happiest person right now is none other than Sunwoo, who even finds the other students amusing because his goal is to rank within the top 10 of the second year. In his previous life, Sunwoo received multiple offers to be promoted to B rank, but he ultimately remained at C rank. It would be embarrassing if he could not at least perform at an average level compared to these students. This is his chance to show them the skills of a professional. However, watching Sunwoo's confident attitude only makes Era grow angrier with him. The evaluation test begins with the first class representative, who demonstrates her magic by striking 3 moving dummies. Her attacks destroy the dummies instantly, prompting students to praise both her impressive skills and her appearance. Some even comment that she might become the top-ranked student of the second year. One by one, the teacher continues calling students forward to take the test. Soon, it is Era's turn. She displays her fire magic, unleashing powerful flames that take down all 3 moving dummies with ease. The students are stunned by her performance, wondering if she is truly the same age as them, as her abilities are already at a professional level. Some students remark that her talent is being overshadowed simply because Seojun is present, even though Era herself is considered legendary. Next, it is Seojun's turn to demonstrate his sword skills. He takes his stance, accelerates toward the target, and eliminates all the dummies in a single strike. The students erupt in excitement after witnessing his overwhelming strength. Everyone is impressed except Era, who is clearly distressed, something Sunwoo notices immediately. Sunwoo knows that Era is extremely talented, but Seojun is already on par with an active professional mage. Since Era has always been ranked below Seojun, her frustration is understandable. Finally, it is Sunwoo's turn, and the teacher instructs him to step onto the stage. Sunwoo stands up confidently, but the teachers look confused upon seeing him. One of the female teachers asks about Sunwoo, as she was in charge of the first-year students last year. The male teacher beside her explains that Sunwoo is his student and does not stand out much, so she may not remember him. Hearing this, the female teacher reviews last year's records and discovers that Sunwoo showed talent in reinforcement magic. However, she notices that Sunwoo is empty-handed. The male teacher suggests that Sunwoo may have switched to manifestation magic. As the dummies are summoned on the stage, the teachers comment that students like Sunwoo occasionally appear, choosing to specialize in what they enjoy rather than what they excel at. The female teacher remarks that Sunwoo seems more ordinary than she expected, but she suddenly notices him using a compression manifestation technique. The first stage of manifestation magic is materialization. By compressing materialized mana, a mage can precisely control the next stage, known as projection. This advanced method is called the compression manifestation technique, a skill typically used only by veteran mages. Era and Seojun are stunned upon seeing Sunwoo perform it, wondering how a second-year student could use such a technique. Sunwoo then launches his attack toward the dummies, but before it can reach them, the attack vanishes midair. The students, who had been watching in stunned silence, suddenly burst into laughter. They shout that Sunwoo collapsed from mana exhaustion and mock him, saying there is no point in materialization if he cannot even project his attack. Sunwoo is just as shocked and realizes that he is in serious trouble. In the very next moment, countless panels suddenly appear in front of him, leaving him stunned and wondering why they are activating now. Later that night, Sunwoo sits in his room, wondering why the status windows opened earlier, even though they were supposed to activate at this time of day. He questions what triggered this change and realizes that the outsider's benefits unlock very easily, causing the main scenario to begin sooner than expected. Sunwoo also unlocked an achievement called Second Time Around and received 3,000 points as a reward. At that moment, he was extremely shocked to discover that the Talent of the Clown achievement had also unlocked, granting him 5,000 points. The stage had been set for Sunwoo, and 232 people remembered his face. The students laughed loudly and kept talking about him, with some even shouting that if Sunwoo was going to act like that, he should just leave. Because of the spectacle he caused earlier, Sunwoo received another 1,000 points as a reward. The system then informed him that the character Seojun had taken an interest in him, which granted him an additional 1,000 points. The reward notifications did not stop there. Even the four main characters had noticed Sunwoo, earning him another 3,000 points. Now, sitting alone in his room, Sunwoo is amazed to realize that he earned 10,000 points in such a short amount of time. However, to use those points, he must unlock the Outsider's Benefit privilege. Outsider's Benefit is a special privilege that only Sunwoo, the possessor in this world, can access. Once Sunwoo unlocked it, the achievement system also became active, allowing him to obtain various talents through achievements. Points are accumulated by stacking achievements within the system, and Sunwoo can also earn points by becoming well-known. The point shop is the greatest feature of Outsider's Benefit, as it allows Sunwoo to exchange points for traits, skills, or items. In other words, it is an incredibly powerful system. Sunwoo admits that having all these points is great, but being labeled with the Talent of the Clown achievement still feels rather harsh. At that time, Sunwoo had forgotten that he did not yet have enough mana. But in truth, he had never been in the spotlight this much in any of his lives, and doing so had still earned him points. Even so, he is not entirely thrilled about it. Sunwoo then wonders how strong he currently is. To find out, he opens his status window. The window appears, displaying his current statistics: 10,000 points in total, 42 in health, 34 in strength, 20 in mana, 30 in speed, 32 in reflexes, and 28 in dexterity. As he reads these numbers, Sunwoo recalls his past life, where he invested countless points into his stats, only to have them completely reset. Frustrated, he wonders when he will be able to raise them again, but then realizes that in this life, he can allocate his stats from scratch. In this world, there are 4 existing magic systems: Enhancement, Manifestation, Support, and Summoning. Enhancement focuses on strengthening weapons or the body and is primarily close combat magic, making stamina especially important. Manifestation involves materializing magic and firing it outward, resembling a more traditional style of magic. Summoning and Support classes specialize in summoning creatures and providing assistance through magic. For the record, Sunwoo chooses Manifestation as his specialty, stating that if he is going to use magic, he might as well look cool doing it. He smiles and says that since he is a Manifestation-type mage, he needs to prioritize leveling up his mana stat. While he is saying this, another system window suddenly appears, announcing that 320 people now remember Sunwoo's impression, rewarding him with 1,000 additional points. Sunwoo is amazed that the number of people increased by 50 in just a second, which makes him realize that even acting like a clown once can actually work in his favor. He understands that he can earn points this way, calling it a total jackpot. Another window pops up, shocking him once again, as it announces that 400 people now remember Sunwoo's face, granting him 2,000 more points. Sunwoo is stunned, and he begins to wonder just how many people are aware of his existence now. Sunwoo picks up his phone and is immediately shocked to discover that someone has uploaded a video of him acting like a clown during the evaluation test to mock him. Even worse, his name has been revealed in the video's comment section. The comments are flooded with hateful remarks, questioning how a talentless person like Sunwoo was even allowed to join the academy. Sunwoo is devastated and even starts crying, as he never expected his test video to blow up like this. It is deeply embarrassing, but at the same time, the points he is earning because of it are significant. As Sunwoo becomes increasingly aware of how many points he is gaining, he starts thinking about ways to earn even more. Eventually, he comes up with an idea and believes it has a 100% chance of success. Sunwoo hums to himself, thinking that if he scores big with this plan and buys a certain trait, everything will work out perfectly. The next day, Sunwoo walks down the hallway and becomes the center of attention among the students. Everyone recognizes him as the clown guy from yesterday's video. Instead of getting angry, Sunwoo remains cheerful and tells them to keep talking. His plan was to troll across the internet, and in his eyes, it was completely worth it. By deliberately provoking reactions online, Sunwoo causes the video to spread even further, earning himself an additional 5,000 points. When Sunwoo enters his classroom, the moment he opens the door, students begin calling out his name. Park In-hwan points at Sunwoo and happily hugs him, saying that Sunwoo was hilarious yesterday and that everyone felt refreshed watching him run off. In-hwan's friends gather around as well, laughing as they ask how Sunwoo ran so fast and how he managed to exhaust his mana. They conclude that Sunwoo's family must be influential because otherwise there would be no way he could survive at the academy. While listening to In-hwan and his friends, Sunwoo recalls who was responsible for the troublesome and foolish role in the early parts of the novel. Knowing that nothing good ever came from interacting with him, Sunwoo decides it would be best to avoid In-hwan altogether. However, In-hwan suddenly calls out to Sunwoo, declaring that from today onward, Sunwoo's nickname is Blockhead. He adds that Sunwoo must come running immediately whenever he is called, and if he fails to do so, his school life will become very difficult. At that moment, Seojun steps in and tells In-hwan to stop. In-hwan clicks his tongue while looking at Seojun and responds that he had already been told not to pick on weaker students. Despite appearing irritated, In-hwan turns away, sarcastically remarking that if the world-renowned genius Seojun wants to play the hero, then ordinary people like him will obediently step aside. Seojun glares at In-hwan, frightening him enough that he and his friends leave immediately. After they leave, Seojun asks Sunwoo if he is all right. Sunwoo confirms that he is and thanks Seojun for stepping in. Seojun then starts to mention the video from the previous day, but Sunwoo instinctively responds that he is fine. However, realizing the situation, Sunwoo quickly pretends to cry, saying that Seojun is right and that he is so embarrassed he feels like he could disappear, especially since the video has already spread everywhere. Seeing this, Seojun advises Sunwoo not to let the video bother him too much, and says that the real problem lies with the person who maliciously spread it. Afterward, Seojun prepares to leave, but Sunwoo grabs his shoulder and asks him to wait. Seojun turns back in confusion, and Sunwoo suggests that they team up together for this semester's dungeon class. Seojun is taken aback by the proposal and asks why he should agree. Sunwoo simply smiles and replies that it would be beneficial for Seojun as well. Seojun thinks for a moment after hearing Sunwoo's proposal, but ultimately declines, saying that he has never considered Sunwoo as a potential teammate. Sunwoo then tells Seojun that there are 2 reasons why he should team up with him. Hearing this, Seojun smiles and decides to listen to Sunwoo's explanation. Sunwoo states that the first reason is that he is ranked dead last in the entire second year. Seojun bursts into laughter upon hearing this and asks if that is really his reason. Sunwoo continues by explaining that Seojun already knows joint tests include adjustment points. Since Seojun is ranked first in the school, partnering with someone ranked last would actually increase Seojun's overall score. Seojun realizes what Sunwoo means and admits that it does make sense, but he believes the risk involved is still too high. Sunwoo then explains the second reason, revealing that Era has already recruited 2 low-ranking students for her team. Seojun is clearly surprised by this information. Sunwoo continues, saying that Seojun already knows Era specializes in wide-area magic, which means she can easily handle situations even when teamed with lower-ranked students. Seojun agrees with this reasoning, and Sunwoo proceeds to mention a third reason. Hearing this, Seojun is surprised, as Sunwoo initially said there were only 2 reasons. Ignoring Seojun's reaction, Sunwoo explains that the third reason is his confidence that his own skills are actually quite decent, despite being ranked last. Seojun smiles at this and compliments Sunwoo for being genuinely funny. In the end, Seojun agrees to form a team, making Sunwoo happy as he achieves his goal. Suddenly, Seojun interrupts and says that he has one condition. Confused, Sunwoo asks what it is, and Seojun explains that he will choose the remaining team members. The two shake hands, confirming the deal. At that very moment, Sunwoo receives a notification stating that the character Seojun has taken a deep interest in him, earning Sunwoo 2,000 points as a reward. Sunwoo finds this outcome satisfying. The lecture then begins, with the teacher explaining the origins of magic, which date back to the 14th century. At that time, magic consisted of only 2 systems, unlike the 4 systems that exist today. However, those 2 systems eventually collapsed for unknown reasons. The teacher then asks the students to explain why this happened. Sunwoo raises his hand to request permission to answer. The teacher allows him to speak, and Sunwoo replies that it was due to the appearance of the first enhancement mage in the 18th century, known as the Blood Sword. The teacher praises Sunwoo for his excellent knowledge and continues, explaining that the appearance of the Blood Sword mage was a shocking event for medieval mages who believed in the supremacy of manifestation magic. The manifestation mages of that era were no match for Blood Sword, and this moment marked the beginning of rapid research into new forms of magic. Sunwoo listens attentively while thinking that classical magic theory and complex formulas, which are difficult even for Seojun, are much easier for him thanks to the outsider's privilege. This privilege provides him with basic information and even interprets it for him, giving him greater confidence in written subjects than any other student. He realizes that he could easily write exams and pass without much effort. Sunwoo answers another question from the teacher, which causes some students to whisper among themselves, saying there is no point in paying attention in class when the student ranked last is answering everything. This irritates Sunwoo, and he glares at them, thinking that if they are jealous, they should try answering the questions themselves. After the class ends, the teacher instructs the students to head to lunch. The students gather their belongings and leave the classroom. Sunwoo prepares to leave as well, but Seojun suddenly calls out to him and suggests that they eat together to celebrate forming a team. Sunwoo agrees, and after getting their lunch, Seojun spots an empty seat and points it out to Sunwoo. As they walk and chat cheerfully, Shin Youngjin waves energetically to catch Seojun's attention, signaling that he is already seated there. Youngjin and Seojun appear to be very close friends, interacting happily with each other. Youngjin is one of the major characters in this world and Seojun's best friend. Since top-ranked students cannot achieve high scores by teaming up together, it seems they have split into separate teams this time. Seojun sits down, followed by Sunwoo. Youngjin notices Sunwoo and recognizes him, cheerfully mentioning that he also saw the video. Full of energy, Youngjin then asks Seojun when the two of them became so close. Seojun replies calmly and informs Youngjin that they have decided to do the dungeon exploration together the day after tomorrow. Hearing this, Youngjin becomes confused and quietly asks Seojun if he is confident about getting first place even without the last place adjustment bonus. He then asks why Seojun is even concerned about that in the first place. Seojun explains that Era seems extremely serious this time. When Youngjin asks how Seojun knows this, Seojun reveals that Era has already added 2 of the lowest-ranked students to her team. Youngjin is shocked upon hearing this and comments that she really is intense. Seojun responds that no matter what, they should just eat for now. Youngjin agrees, saying that he is hungry anyway. While they are chatting happily and eating, Seojun stares in their direction, wondering if that person is from the Great Sage's forest. Seon's friend notices her gaze and asks what she is looking at. Seojun smiles and replies that it is nothing, but she continues to glance at Sunwoo, wondering how he managed to get close to Seojun, a senior. Later, during the next class, Sunwoo stands in front of the training dummies once again. This time, he decides to use a carefully controlled amount of mana. He activates his manifestation magic and releases it while precisely managing the output. This time, Sunwoo successfully hits the target, though he runs out of mana immediately afterward. Seeing this, some students comment that it is not entirely terrible and that Sunwoo seems to be improving. Sunwoo hears their quiet remarks clearly. After all the classes end, Sunwoo returns to his room and sits on his bed while looking at his status window. Before regressing, he had spent his points recklessly, buying stats without proper understanding. While this worked well at first, the cost increased the more he purchased, eventually becoming unmanageable. Even for basic stats, the price rose by 10 points every 10 purchases, following the same logic as leveling up becoming harder as a character's level increases in a game. After thinking carefully and considering the long-term effects, Sunwoo realizes that instead of spending points like cash, it would be better to gradually increase his stats using traits or items that enhance mana growth. He uses the search function and enters the keyword mana, then scans the results until he finds the trait that appeared midway through the novel. Upon finding it, he opens the trait's description page. The trait is called Protection of the Great Nature, and its classification and description state that it absorbs mana from nature. Its first passive effect, Blessing of Great Nature, allows the user to acquire additional mana while cultivating mana. Depending on the surrounding environment, Sunwoo can gain up to 150% additional mana. The second passive effect, Rest of Great Nature, increases mana recovery speed by 50%. There is also an active skill listed, but its name is locked and can only be unlocked when the proficiency grade increases. The cost to unlock it is 50,000 points. Sunwoo decides to purchase this trait, along with the Returner's Wristwatch, rank B, which increases stamina and mana recovery speed by 200%. He buys both by selling Master Chef, an A-rank talent he inherited in this life. Although selling a high-grade talent feels somewhat wasteful, Sunwoo knows he made good use of it, since traits can always be exchanged for points. Feeling relieved, Sunwoo believes that thanks to acquiring Protection of the Great Nature and the Returner's Wristwatch, his growth speed will be much faster than before his regression. Suddenly, Sunwoo receives a notification on his mobile phone, which startles him, as there should be no one trying to contact him. He pulls out his phone and realizes that someone has added him to a group chat. The members are listed as Shin Ji-hyuk, Yoon Haeyoung, and Young Jin-tae. Sunwoo mutters that he doesn't really know anyone except Haeyoung and wonders if they are all low rankers. Haeyoung does become an important character later on, but at the moment, she has not yet realized her true potential, so her role remains limited. Seo-jun is also in the group and asks everyone to share their specialties. Although Seo-jun already knows most of this information, there may be students who do not. Ji-hyuk reveals that he is a support-type mage with manifestation as his secondary. Haeyoung explains that she specializes in manifestation, her attribute is ice, and her secondary is support. Jin-tae messages that he is an enhancement type with manifestation as his secondary, though he admits he is not very good at it. Sunwoo then shares his own information, stating that he uses manifestation magic and has no attribute. Reading this, Ji-hyuk responds with laughing emojis, saying that there is probably no one in the school who doesn't already know about Sunwoo's manifestation skills. This irritates Sunwoo, but he calmly replies that he simply wanted to inform everyone. Sunwoo then explains that Seo-jun should act as the main attacker, while the remaining members provide support. If they aim for first place, they will need to outperform Era's team. Sunwoo begins to wonder who Era has chosen as her teammates. The next morning, Sunwoo attends Teacher Lee's class, where the students are practicing manifestation magic. Teacher Lee observes the class carefully, correcting students who focus too much on control while neglecting release. She instructs them to apply slightly more power to their mana and fire it more decisively. A female student acknowledges her advice. Meanwhile, Era showcases her fire attribute by launching attacks at the target, leaving the watching students impressed. Teacher Lee acknowledges Era's impressive abilities, but considers them largely a result of natural talent and aptitude. She notes that Era still needs refinement, as her mana utilization is somewhat inefficient. While reflecting on this, Teacher Lee notices Sunwoo practicing materialization and realizes how much he has improved. Previously, he was so focused on manifestation that he struggled even with release, but now he is executing precise control and release using minimal mana. She finds it rare for someone his age to accurately recognize and correct their own weaknesses, and she feels genuinely pleased with his progress. When the class ends, Teacher Lee thanks the students and dismisses them. The students leave while chatting about how helpful the class was and expressing relief that they can finally rest. Teacher Lee stops Sunwoo and praises his hard work during the lesson. She asks if he has been keeping up with his training, and Sunwoo confirms that he practices whenever he has time. She then asks about his mana cultivation, clearly aware of the gap between his skills and his mana capacity. Sunwoo acknowledges this and assures her that he is working on it. Teacher Lee advises him that while his technique is excellent, his mana pool is still lacking, and there are no shortcuts to building it, only consistent effort. Sunwoo responds enthusiastically, promising to continue working hard. Teacher Lee then hands Sunwoo a bracelet, explaining that it is an item designed to assist with mana breathing and physical condition maintenance. Sunwoo hesitates, unsure whether he should accept such a gift, but Teacher Lee insists, telling him not to feel burdened since it is only an F-rank practice item and not very expensive. Sunwoo thanks her sincerely and promises to make good use of it. Teacher Lee waves him off, reminding him that class is over and he should move along. As Sunwoo walks away, he happily reflects on gaining yet another useful item, but then he notices Era standing nearby, waiting for him. Sunwoo continues walking forward when Era suddenly calls his name. Sunwoo responds arrogantly, asking whether it is really okay for her to talk to him, especially since she was the one who told him not to speak to her last time. This angers Era, and she remarks that she saw Sunwoo teaming up with Seojun this time. Sunwoo is surprised and asks how she knows about it. Era points her finger at him, accusing him of trying to mooch off the rank 1 student, Seojun. No matter what, she claims that she will take first place this time. She then tells Sunwoo to wake up from his dream of achieving first place simply by sticking with Seojun. After saying that, she turns and leaves. Sunwoo exhales and comments that she seems extremely tense, wondering why she is so sensitive. Finally, Thursday morning arrives, and all the students gather near the dungeon, chatting among themselves. Sunwoo runs toward the group and feels relieved when he makes it just in time. When he arrives, Seojun comments that this is the first time they have all gathered like this and encourages everyone to do their best during the first semester. Haeyoung follows up by telling everyone to give it their best as well. Jae-hyuk looks at Sunwoo and remarks that their team is quite unique since it includes both the first-ranked and the last-ranked students together. Sunwoo wonders whether Jae-hyuk is being sarcastic or simply stating a fact. Jae-hyuk then continues, asking whether Sunwoo can even perform well, mocking him by mentioning that he couldn't fire a single spell during the previous test. Sunwoo realizes that Jae-hyuk is indeed being sarcastic. Before Sunwoo can respond, Jin-tae comments that it doesn't really matter, since Seojun brought Sunwoo along and will surely find a way to carry the team. This makes Sunwoo think that Jin-tae intends to rely heavily on Seojun. His thoughts then shift to Haeyoung. There was an episode in which she played an active role, but now Sunwoo notices her casually asking Seojun if he slept well. Sunwoo wonders whether his presence on the team has changed the group composition compared to the past. Haeyoung is one thing, but Sunwoo questions whether the exams will go smoothly with these team members. The teacher calls for everyone's attention and begins explaining the dungeon exploration class. The session will be conducted twice in total, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. Since today is the first day, the students will only explore the first basement floor. The teacher then explains the scoring method. First is dungeon clear speed, where faster teams earn more bonus points. Second is the rank adjustment score, in which students receive more individual points if they are teamed with lower-ranked members compared to themselves. Lastly, there is contribution. The artificial dungeon has a special contribution system that awards additional points based on how much each student contributes to the team. The teacher emphasizes that safety should be the top priority. After finishing the explanation, he instructs the teams to enter the dungeon one by one. The teams step forward, expressing their anticipation. The dungeon is monitored by the teachers through CCTV. Teacher Jang arrives at the monitoring area, and one of the teachers asks why he came so late. Teacher Jang replies that he arrived immediately after sending the students into the dungeon. Teacher Lee then inquires from Jang that which group will achieve the highest score. Teacher Jang remarks that in his opinion Era's team will likely get the highest score. But Teacher Lee smiles and says that the high scorer in this test will be Group 3, Seojun's team. He explains that although both Seojun and Era form teams with low-ranking members to benefit from adjustment points, the situation is different for each team. Professor Lee asks why they are different, and Professor Jang explains that Seojun's team has unstable members. Seojun, being an enhancement-type mage, also has limitations of his own. Professor Lee agrees with Professor Jang, noting that enhancement types specialize in one-on-one combat, and dealing with multiple enemies without team support is difficult for them. Professor Zhang then comments on Era, whose specialty is wide-area magic. Era has already reached the middle of the first floor. Despite understanding all of this, Professor Lee says she still believes in a comeback from the last-ranked team. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, Seo-jun is defeating monsters and steadily advancing deeper. His team members are pleased, as Seo-jun is making quick progress. Jin-tae praises Seo-jun, saying that he fights extremely well. Jae-hyuk agrees with Jin-tae, adding that they are already halfway through the floor. The two then begin discussing the first-floor boss, asking each other for suggestions. Jae-hyuk admits he has no idea, but assumes that since it is the first floor, the boss must be weak. Hearing this, Haeyoung joins the conversation and points out that even if it is the first floor, it is still a boss and therefore must be stronger than normal monsters. She then asks Sunwoo for his opinion on what the first-floor boss might be. Without hesitation, Sunwoo replies that it will be a giant wolf. Jae-hyuk turns around in surprise and asks how Sunwoo knows that. Sunwoo responds vaguely, saying that he has his own ways of knowing. In truth, it is because he has already experienced this in his past life. Jae-hyuk mocks Sunwoo again, saying that everything he says is nonsense. This angers Sunwoo. At that moment, Seo-jun steps in and tells them to stop arguing and keep moving forward. Jae-hyuk agrees, and the group continues on, but Seo-jun suddenly signals for everyone to stop. Jae-hyuk asks what the problem is this time and sarcastically wonders if Seo-jun is scared. Jin-tae also looks around, confused, prompting Seo-jun to explain that something on the floor is glowing. They all look down and discover a magic circle on the ground. Seo-jun admits that he does not know what kind of magic it is. Jin-tae questions why there would be such a dangerous magic circle in this place, and Jae-hyuk agrees, wondering why the teachers would assign something so risky. Sunwoo steps forward to inspect the magic circle while Seo-jun warns him to be careful. Sunwoo reassures him, saying he only intends to take a closer look. After examining it, Sunwoo notices something and tells his teammates that it does not seem extremely dangerous and appears to be a simple barrier. Jae-hyuk asks how Sunwoo could possibly know that. Internally, Sunwoo thinks it is because he witnessed the exact same barrier in his past life. As the barrier activates, an invisible wall begins to form. Sunwoo asks Jae-hyuk if he can see it now. Jae-hyuk becomes embarrassed and claims that he already knew about it. Jin-tae points out that if the barrier is like this, they cannot pass through it, and suggests turning back. Haeyoung wonders if there might be another solution. Seo-jun draws his sword and tells Sunwoo to step aside so he can attempt to break the barrier. Seo-jun strikes the wall with all his strength, and for a brief moment, it cracks, filling the team with hope. However, the barrier quickly repairs itself, leaving Jae-hyuk and Jin-tae disappointed as they comment that they were so close. Seo-jun admits that he thought it would work if he struck it properly, but it was not enough. Believing it is now his turn, Jae-hyuk steps forward and says that he may not look like much, but he is part of the support class. Rolling up his sleeves, he approaches the magic circle and begins analyzing its structure. After some time passes, Jae-hyuk looks shocked and tells the others that it is an extremely complex magic circle. He estimates that it could take 40 minutes or more to fully analyze, but promises to do his best. At that moment, Sunwoo grabs Jae-hyuk's hand and asks him to wait, saying that he wants to try solving it himself. Acting arrogantly, Jae-hyuk asks whether Sunwoo even knows what he is doing. Ignoring him, Sunwoo places both of his hands into the magic circle. A system panel opens, stating that the unique trait, Outsider's Benefits, is activating and interpreting the magic formula. The riddle of the world appears in front of Sunwoo, and he quickly grasps the correct solution. He begins solving it, and within seconds, the problem is resolved and the invisible wall disappears. Sunwoo turns back and informs the others that it was a success. Even Seo-jun is amazed that it worked so quickly. The most shocked person, however, is Jae-hyuk. Sunwoo then receives a notification stating that the character Seo-jun feels amazement toward him, and Seo-jun's interest level in Sunwoo has increased. As a reward for Seo-jun's interest level reaching 1, Sunwoo earns 5,000 points. Sunwoo wonders what exactly the interest level system is. As soon as the invisible wall vanishes, the first floor boss appears, and once again, Sunwoo's earlier prediction proves correct. The boss of the first floor is a giant wolf. Jin-tae remarks that it is exactly as Sunwoo said. The giant wolf immediately attacks Seo-jun, but Seo-jun defeats it in a single decisive move. After the boss monster is taken down, Hae-young is amazed by how Seo-jun handles a boss as if it were an ordinary monster. Soon after, the exit gate opens, and Seo-jun's team leaves the dungeon. The teacher waiting outside welcomes them back and announces that they have placed second for the first week. Seo-jun is surprised and asks which team secured first place. The teacher replies that Group 7 finished first, clearing the dungeon 30 minutes earlier than Seo-jun's team. Jin-tae checks his mobile phone to confirm and is shocked to see that Group 7 completed the raid in only 4 hours and 11 minutes. Jae-hyuk also checks and points out that there is only a 2-minute difference between Seo-jun's team and the third-place team, meaning they could have caught up at this pace. Seo-jun happily compliments Sunwoo, saying that they achieved second place thanks to him. Sunwoo scratches his head modestly, saying it was nothing. Seo-jun continues, explaining that if Sunwoo had not dispelled the barrier so quickly, they would have been delayed even further. Seo-jun believes that he himself did not perform well enough and thinks they could have secured first place otherwise. Hae-young disagrees, stating that they were able to clear the dungeon this quickly precisely because Seo-jun was there. Sunwoo agrees as well, adding that this is only the first floor of the first week, so the competition is far from over. Jin-tae adds that they simply need to turn the tables in the upcoming challenges. While they are chatting, the teacher from the CCTV room approaches and calls out to Sunwoo. He turns around and responds, recognizing her as the teacher in charge of the support department. The teacher explains that she has come to make an offer to Sunwoo. When he asks what kind of offer it is, she happily tells him that she wants him to transfer to the support department immediately. Sunwoo is surprised by the proposal but declines it without hesitation, stating that he has no intention of transferring. The teacher is initially thrilled about recruiting Sunwoo to her class, but becomes very disappointed when he instantly declines the offer without even hearing the conditions. She urges him to listen first before making a decision. Cheerfully, she explains that, using her authority, she can award him the Special Talent Scholarship of 50 million won. After emphasizing the generosity of the offer, she asks if Sunwoo is still not interested. Once again, Sunwoo declines, stating firmly that he is not interested. Saddened and gloomy, the teacher walks away, wondering what to do next. Some of the students nearby question Sunwoo, asking if he is crazy, as there is no reason to reject such a generous offer. One comments that Sunwoo is already struggling with manifestation magic, so if it were anyone else, they would have transferred without hesitation. Another student agrees, and at that moment, Era approaches, arrogantly asking Sunwoo if he truly has no intention of switching classes. Sunwoo notices her and realizes that it is Era standing there. All the students are surprised and impressed to see that even Era seems concerned for Sunwoo. Sunwoo thanks her politely, but asserts that he truly belongs in the manifestation class. Era looks confused upon hearing this. The next day, as the school day begins, no students are in the hallways except for Seon, who suddenly notices Sunwoo sweeping the floor all alone. She greets him, but mistakenly calls him Kim Shin-wook. Sunwoo immediately corrects her, saying his name is Sunwoo, not Shin-wook. Realizing her mistake, Seon apologizes and addresses him correctly. She then asks why he is cleaning the floor. Sunwoo replies casually that it looked dirty, so he decided to clean it. Seon nervously smiles, complimenting Sunwoo on his kindness, and waves as she walks away, telling him to keep up the good work. However, once she is at a distance, her expression changes as she mutters that Sunwoo is doing something so useless. Meanwhile, Sunwoo receives a notification that he has unlocked the Secret Helper achievement, earning 1,000 points as a reward. Although he cannot say he cleaned the floor solely to earn the achievement, it is a nice bonus. After finishing the cleaning, Sunwoo picks up the water bucket and happily starts leaving. Unknown to him, one of the professors notices him sweeping and is very pleased. In the first class, the teacher draws a monster on the blackboard and explains the various types of monsters: humanoid, beast type, and flying type. Among them, the most dangerous are demonic humans. The teacher asks if anyone knows why demonic humans are so dangerous. Once again, only Sunwoo answers. He explains that, except when they voluntarily drop their disguise or are on the verge of going berserk, it is impossible to distinguish them from ordinary humans. The teachers confirm that Sunwoo's answer is correct and continue explaining that demonic humans control monsters and serve as the root of all evil, having already deeply embedded themselves in society. Since they are indistinguishable in appearance, ordinary people cannot identify them without special equipment. However, in the situations Sunwoo mentioned, a demonic human's eyes will turn black. Hearing this, Sunwoo recalls that there is an upcoming episode over the weekend featuring a demonic human for the first time. He clenches his fist, thinking about the event where Seo-jun, despite being just a student, will take down a demonic human and gain attention once again. While confident that Seo-jun will handle it well, Sunwoo remembers the last time when Seo-jun was supposed to defeat the dragon but failed. To be cautious, Sunwoo decides to check for any nearby dangerous elements. Sunwoo also needs money if he wants to follow Seo-jun and operate independently. He knows Seo-jun could get seriously hurt, so he begins to ponder his options. After all classes end, during the next session, Sunwoo focuses on cultivation. After practicing for a while, he receives a system notification informing him that his mana has reached 0.02. Additionally, he acquires an extra 0.03 mana thanks to the effects of Blessing of the Great Nature. Another panel notifies him that his Blessing of the Great Nature proficiency has increased by 12%. Sunwoo stretches happily, feeling that every moment spent cultivating brings real value. At this point, he has accumulated a significant amount of mana. While stretching, Sunwoo receives another notification stating that his trait, Blessing of the Great Nature, has reached grade 2. Consequently, the active effect of the trait, Heart of the Great Nature, has been unlocked. Just as he expected, he confirms that purchasing Protection of the Great Nature was a wise decision. He clicks on the status window to check the description. Heart of the Great Nature drastically increases mana recovery speed by 1000% for 1 minute. While the cooldown is somewhat long, he can now use it whenever necessary to fully replenish his mana. Sunwoo feels thrilled, convinced he is perfectly suited for manifestation magic. Then, Sunwoo recalls the teacher who attempted to recruit him. Dispelling barriers was only possible because of the outsider's benefits, which means he cannot create them himself. Therefore, supporting magic seems impossible for him, or so he believes. Despite missing out on the support class scholarship, he acknowledges it as a shame. Currently, his total bank balance is only 30,000, reminding him that being a student often means being poor. Sunwoo sits on the floor, brainstorming ways to earn money quickly and safely. Going through dungeons and hunting monsters is too dangerous, and climbing the tower is restricted since he is still a minor and cannot obtain a license. After careful consideration, Sunwoo comes up with a plan and decides to implement it. Later that night, in the school staff room, the professor who noticed Sunwoo sweeping the floor praises him to the other teachers. Another professor asks if it was indeed Sunwoo, and the name piques the interest of both the teacher who tried to recruit him and Teacher Lee. The first professor continues, explaining that Sunwoo arrived at school early and cleaned the floors. The older professor adds that Sunwoo remains focused even in the early hours and actively participates in class, showing excellent attitude. Teacher Lee compliments Sunwoo as a model manifestation student, taunting the female teacher by saying that even though she tried to recruit him, Sunwoo wasn't the type to be easily swayed. This frustrates the red-haired teacher. Meanwhile, the black-haired professor remarks that it is reassuring to have such a diligent and pleasant student these days. Back in his room, Sunwoo smiles, thinking of his money-making plan, simply not being a normal student. He feels clever and pleased with himself. At that moment, he receives a notification that he has unlocked the Student Loved by Teachers achievement, earning 2,000 points as a reward. Delighted with the extra points, Sunwoo enters the point shop, uses the search function, and purchases an item. He decides to spend 10,000 points, declaring that he will maximize his earnings. The next morning, on Saturday, Sunwoo heads to the tower. When the guard asks for his license, Sunwoo reaches into his pocket, pulls out a fake license, and claims to be 25 years old with a C rank. The guard asks to see a mage license for verification, so Sunwoo calmly presents an identity card. The guard swipes it through the verification device. The system then confirms that Sunwoo is a C-class mage named Kim Jinwoo. Although Sunwoo appears nervous, everything proceeds without issue. This is the new identity he purchased from the point shop just a few days earlier. In this world, A mage license is no ordinary document. It contains a special magic formula that makes forgery impossible. On top of that, Sun Wu is wearing glasses with a dyeing effect, making his disguise flawless. With his identity secured, Sun Wu enters the Tower of Proof, determined to clear it quickly and head straight to the Han River, where Seo-jun is scheduled to confront the Deminoid. The tower welcomes him, and he steps onto the teleportation device to move directly to the 10th floor. However, the tower notifies him that the rewards will be reduced since the 10th floor has already been cleared. Sun Wu proceeds anyway. His true objective lies elsewhere. Portals serve as convenient transportation methods within all towers. Across the world, towers vary in structure, monster strength, and trap difficulty. The Tower of Proof, featured in the novel's side story, is notorious for its unusual difficulty, so much so that even established guilds hesitate to challenge it. Upon arriving on the 10th floor, Sun Wu is greeted by a monster and defeats it with ease. While the monsters themselves appear relatively weak, the real danger lies in the scattered traps and high-level magic formulas embedded throughout the floor. In many ways, the environment feels perfectly suited to Sun Wu's abilities. With time to spare, he decides to continue deeper. Meanwhile, near the Han River, Youngjun and Seo-jun arrive at the festival grounds. Despite the event not having officially begun, the area is already crowded. Youngjun suggests taking a photo with his best friend, Seo-jun, capturing the moment before the festivities start. The scene shifts back to Sun Wu as he continues battling monsters on the 10th floor. After defeating another enemy, he discovers a magic stone. Soon after, he locates a hidden spot and pours mana into it, unlocking a concealed gate. For this, he earns the achievement Barrier Removal Expert and gains 2,000 points. Suddenly, the tower announces that he has entered the hidden floor of the Tower of Proof, the imagery world. Sun Wu finds himself in a breathtaking environment and earns the Mystic Explorer achievement, along with 5,000 points. A statue on the hidden floor begins to speak, instructing Sun Wu to prove himself. A yellow light rises around him, and in the next instant, he is surrounded by flower fairies. Though they are C-rank monsters and not particularly powerful, they are known for their unstable behavior, attacking humans on sight. Sun Wu easily overwhelms one of them, causing the rest to scatter. However, he quickly realizes that simply defeating them will not clear the floor. Proving his individuality requires something more. At that moment, Sun Wu's unique trait, Outsider's Benefits, activates, allowing him to interpret complex magic formulas. The magic circle into which he poured mana begins revealing coded patterns that must be deciphered. Unbeknownst to the tower, Sun Wu's true individuality lies precisely in this ability, his power as an outsider to interpret and manipulate the world's magic system itself. He successfully deciphers the formula, fulfilling the requirement of becoming the one acknowledged by the Tower of Proof. As a result, he earns 10,000 additional points. His status increases, and he receives the rewards for clearing the hidden floor. Along with weapons, herbs, and scrolls, his mana increases by 5, his mana recovery speed improves by 20%, and his magic power rises by 10%. The tower formally congratulates Sun Wu for clearing the hidden floor, the imagery world. Meanwhile, back at the Han River, the festival is about to begin. As Seo-jun reviews the photo they took earlier, he notices something unsettling. Hidden within the image is a Deminoid. At the same time, after exiting the tower, Sun Wu senses the presence of a powerful Deminoid nearby. Surprised, he begins to wonder why Seo-jun has not arrived yet, especially since it is already time for the confrontation. Sun Wu hesitates, wondering whether he should step in. He knows that interfering could alter the main storyline and twist the plot in unexpected ways. However, events spiral out of control before he can decide. A bystander approaches the Deminoid, asking if he is all right, but the creature has already gone berserk. In a sudden and brutal outburst, it kills the person. After absorbing mana, its body visibly hardens and grows more powerful. It then turns its gaze toward a nearby woman, preparing to attack. The crowd quickly realizes that it is a Deminoid and begins reporting the situation. Seeing innocent lives in danger, Sun Wu pulls out the weapon he obtained from the hidden floor. No matter the consequences to the story, he knows he cannot stand by while people are hurt. Meanwhile, Seo-jun and Young-jun contact the Mage Association to report the incident. In response, they dispatch counterterrorism special task force agent Jung Hyun-soo. Upon hearing the details, Hyun-soo immediately recognizes how serious the situation is. With the festival drawing a massive crowd, the demonoid could grow even stronger. The more mana it absorbs, the more powerful it becomes. As they speak, everyone senses the overwhelming surge of magical power radiating from the demonoid. Realizing the urgency, they rush toward the source. Back at the scene, onlookers notice Sunwoo positioning himself behind the monster to protect the girl. The demonoid lunges at her, but she narrowly dodges by sheer luck and manages to run. Instead, the creature's attack slams into a table, which shatters as it begins chasing her. Assessing the situation, he steadies himself, channels his mana, and carefully aims for the creature's weak point. His attack lands, but to his shock, the demonoid remains standing. Now fully aware of Sunwoo's presence, the demonoid shifts its focus and charges at him. Understanding the danger, Sunwoo activates his skill, Heart of Great Nature, doubling his mana recovery speed for 1 minute. He knows he cannot defeat the creature within that short window, but he can at least weaken it significantly. The demonoid halts momentarily after being struck by Sunwoo's attacks. Sunwoo presses the assault, believing the battle is turning in his favor. If this continues, victory seems possible, but in the next instant, his active skill wears off. With his mana recovery returning to normal, Sunwoo realizes he can no longer hold the creature back alone. Just as the situation becomes critical, Jung Hyun-soo arrives and takes down the demonoid in a single, decisive strike. After securing the area, Hyun-soo introduces himself and thanks Sunwoo for his assistance. He then requests Sunwoo's mage license to verify his identity for the reward process. Sunwoo hands over his identification. Reading it, Hyun-soo is visibly surprised. He had assumed Sunwoo was at least B-class, yet the license identifies him as a C-class mage named Kim Jinwoo. At that moment, Sunwoo notices Seo-jun and Young-jun standing nearby and wonders why they arrived so late. On the other side, Seo-jun stares intently at Sunwoo. Something about him feels familiar. Slowly approaching, Seo-jun addresses the disguised Jinwoo and asks a direct question. Does he happen to know someone named Sunwoo? Seo-jun explains that Sunwoo attends the Magic Academy, and Young-jun quickly agrees. To them, Jinwoo gives off the exact same vibe as Sunwoo, so they cautiously ask whether he might be Sunwoo's relative. Sunwoo simply tilts his face away and calmly claims he has never heard that name. Before the conversation can continue, Jung Hyun-soo steps in and tells them to leave the scene. He thanks Sunwoo once again for his assistance. Even as they walk away, Seo-jun keeps staring at Sunwoo, which only makes him more nervous. Hyun-soo decides to depart first, noting that reporters and additional agents will soon arrive to handle the aftermath. After thanking Hyun-soo, acknowledging that they survived thanks to his timely intervention, Sunwoo finally has a moment to breathe. Then a system notification appears. He learns that by participating in the subjugation of the B-class villain Jang Han, a small but significant change has occurred in the story. As a result, Sunwoo receives 53,000 points, and his causality increases by 0.2. Causality, the system explains, is earned by resolving important events in the main storyline. The greater the change in the narrative, the more causality increases. Reading this, Sunwoo begins to reflect. In the original timeline, the first life where he did not intervene, perhaps Seo-jun had died. If that is true, then by stepping in, Sunwoo may have saved him. The system further reveals that causality can unlock authority, and if he reaches 100 causality points, he can achieve anything he desires. That single line makes his heart race. Does that mean he could return to his real world? From that moment on, Sunwoo resolves to actively intervene in the main storyline, not only to save Seo-jun, but also to accumulate causality. Soon after, he receives notification of the reward payment for subjugating the Berserk demonoid. Since carrying the spear back to the dorm would have been awkward, the monetary reward works out perfectly. Deciding he deserves proper rest after such an exhausting day, Sunwoo heads to the 5-star exclusive Hotel Hansung. As he enters, he reflects on how the Hansung Group has grown into a global conglomerate, an organization that possesses power, authority, and immense wealth. In the original story, they also played a significant role. Inside the lobby, Sunwoo notices employees welcoming the vice chairman of Hansung Group, Han Sejin, the #1 successor candidate for the chairman position. An employee informs Sejin that his younger sister has expressed her intention to join him for dinner. Surprised, Sejin decides to meet his sister, Seon, for the first time in a while. Hearing Seon's name triggers Sunwoo's memory of her importance in the original story. After booking a room, Sunwoo reviews the items he obtained. The spear is far too conspicuous, so he decides he must sell it. The magic enhancement scroll can be used later, and he plans to give the herbs to Seon, but that will have to wait until tomorrow. The next day, Sunwoo wakes up to unexpected news. He is everywhere. Media outlets report that a mere C-rank mage cleared the hidden floor of the Tower of Proof and immediately afterwards subjugated a berserk demonoid at Han River Park. The coverage references the official reward statement released by the Mage Association, which confirms they are currently reviewing him for a rank promotion. Within hours, Sunwoo becomes the center of public attention. He earns a new achievement, Little Hero. With 2 million citizens feeling gratitude for his courage and numerous characters he has yet to meet growing curious about him, he receives 21,000 additional points. Now that his identity as Kim Jinwoo is recognized and partially secured, Sunwoo heads to Hansung Pharmaceuticals to meet Seon. However, as soon as he steps inside the building, he is startled by a powerful presence. Standing there is the sword of the Hansung family, S-Class Mage Jang Sugi. The overwhelming aura catches Sunwoo off guard. He immediately wonders what could have happened for an S-Class mage to appear the moment he walks through the door. The receptionist immediately recognizes Sunwoo as the rising star currently dominating the headlines. Maintaining a calm demeanor, Sunwoo explains that he has come to sell several medicinal herbs he obtained from the tower and requests that the director personally appraise them. He is soon escorted to Seon's office. There, Sunwoo confidently presents the items and smoothly explains their value. As Seon examines the herb, she senses an unusual energy emanating from it. However, she quickly notes a problem. While the herb contains remarkable potency, it lacks the mana veins that typically form the structural basis of medicinal plants. That makes it extremely difficult to process. Even so, she admits there is no doubt that it is an extraordinary ingredient. This raises a critical question in her mind. How did Sunwoo determine its efficacy? Without hesitation, Sunwoo claims he has knowledge of medicine. Internally, however, he is thinking about the herb's true identity, a holy herb, a rare special ingredient. On its own, it has no noticeable effect, but when combined with medicine, it dramatically amplifies potency. The issue is that, at this point in time, no facility is equipped to properly handle or process it. Mishandling it would render it useless. In other words, this is something only a genius pharmacist could manage. Seon then asks if he has any specific conditions for selling the herb. Sunwoo calmly states his terms: an advance payment of 500 million won and 0.005% of Hansung Pharmaceutical stock shares. The request immediately irritates Seon. However, Sunwoo continues without backing down, arguing that stocks would ultimately be more valuable than cash. Once the holy herb is commercialized, Hansung Pharmaceuticals could monopolize the pharmaceutical industry. Seon firmly rejects the idea of offering company shares and tells him to propose another condition. Just as Sunwoo expected, he shifts his demand. Instead of shares, he asks for VIP membership to the underground auction. In addition, he wants access to potion crafting services and item procurement through their network. He makes it clear that he will pay for the items himself. Seon smiles sharply, remarking that it sounds as if he is asking her to become his errand runner. At that moment, Sunwoo drops a calculated move. In exchange, he says he will reveal the weakness of her older brother, Vice Chairman Sejin. Seon freezes. Sunwoo presses further, stating that he knows about her ambition to seize control of the Hansung Group, even if it means destroying her own family to do so. The scene then shifts to an unknown apartment. Two demonoids are watching the news report about the recent death of one of their own. One of them, Baek Kong, angrily claims that they could have stopped Jang Han and prevented his death. The loss clearly infuriates him. The other demonoid remains calm, reminding Kong that it was someone's direct order not to interfere. If they had stepped in to protect someone who went berserk among humans, they would only have exposed themselves to greater danger. Baek Kong clenches his fists, demanding to know how much longer they must continue hiding. Fueled by anger, he vows to kill Jinwoo. The other demonoid questions whether that is wise, pointing out that Jinwoo has already approached Kang's client. Kang responds confidently, claiming he has nothing to worry about. His client, he says, is the kind of man who would betray even his own family with a smile. The scene then transitions back to Seon, who is preparing to meet her older brother, Vice Chairman Sejin. After meeting, Sejin and Seon sit down to talk. Sejin gently asks whether managing company affairs has been overwhelming for her. Seon nods, admitting that dealing with people has been exhausting and mentally draining. Sejin sighs and remarks that their father may have been too hasty in handing over company shares, while Seon is still so young. Then, in a seemingly casual tone, he suggests that if the responsibility feels like too much, she could transfer her shares to him. In return, once he becomes chairman, he would appoint her as vice chairman. The proposal clearly angers Seon, but she maintains her composure and hides her reaction. The scene shifts to Sunwoo, who is carefully managing two separate social media identities, one as Sunwoo and the other as Kim Jinwoo. His decision to contact Seon proves correct, as she successfully sells the spear to Hansung Pharmaceuticals on his behalf. Thanks to that, he can finally relax. Knowing how extensive Seon's network is, Sunwoo wonders whether she is currently verifying the information he gave her. Soon enough, he receives a message from her. She agrees to act as his errand runner for 1 month. She sends the advance payment, the proceeds from the spear, funding for potion crafting, and even the entrance ticket to the underground arena that he requested. The deal is sealed. Although he can extend their arrangement later, moving around as Jinwoo remains risky due to the revenge-driven developments in the original story. To protect himself, Sunwoo purchases the A-rank trait, Killing Intent Detect, which allows him to sense hostile intent directed at him within a 500-meter radius. When he sees the price, he is stunned, but he convinces himself that the investment is necessary for survival. A few days later, Seon hands Sunwoo the potion he requested, crafted by incorporating the holy herb. She warns him that the side effects are amplified just as much as the benefits. Reading the description, Sunwoo learns that the potion increases mana recovery speed by 500%. However, once the effect ends, the user will fall into mana exhaustion for 30 minutes. Seon finds it suspicious that a skilled mage would seek such a high-risk potion. She also questions how Sunwoo knows so much about her and her brother. The information he previously provided about Sejin was deeply disturbing. She had always known her brother had a darker side, but she never imagined he might have maintained contact with someone suspected of being a demonoid. She demands to know how he uncovered this. Sunwoo silently reflects that his knowledge comes from the original novel storyline. In that version, Sejin gradually descends into villainy, driven by greed and ambition, eventually aligning himself with demonoids. Of course, he cannot reveal that truth. Instead, he boldly requests 5% of Hansung Pharmaceuticals' shares in exchange for further information. Seon realizes he has no intention of revealing his source and shifts the topic. She informs him that the arena ticket has arrived, but it is non-transferable, meaning he must enter alongside her. Later, wearing masks to conceal their identities, Seon and Sunwoo enter the underground arena as VIP guests. While walking through the corridor, Sunwoo unexpectedly bumps into Haryong, an S-class demonoid and top-tier villain who secretly organizes the arena. After a brief greeting, Haryong walks away. Sunwoo's nerves spike, and he reminds himself to avoid drawing attention. The scene then shifts to Baek Kong. Upon learning that Sunwoo has appeared at the event alongside Seon, his anger reignites. Frustrated by his lack of information and still fueled by Jang Han's death, Kong makes a decision. Tonight, he will go to the event and avenge Jang Han. Meanwhile, on his way to the arena, Baek Kong wrestles with his frustration. He considers storming in immediately to confront Sunwoo. However, he knows that disrupting Haryong's event would put him in danger as well. Reluctantly, Kong decides he will wait and kill Sunwoo after the event concludes. As Seon and Sunwoo leaves the arena, a sudden chill runs down his spine. He feels it clearly. Killing intent directed straight at him. Sunwoo immediately understands where the killing intent is coming from. In the original story, there was also a demonoid who sought revenge for Jang Han's death. Seon notices the sudden shift in Sunwoo's expression and asks what is wrong. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Sun Wu quietly asks her for a favor. Moments later, their car changes direction. In another vehicle trailing them, the driver asks Baek Kong what they should do. Kong coldly orders him to stop the car. He intends to kill Sun Wu right there. Soon, Sun Wu is standing alone in a quiet park with no one around. Kong arrives and spots him immediately. Xian, however, is nowhere in sight. While observing Sun Wu from a distance, Kong frowns. Could this really be the one who killed Zhang Han? His physique is not well trained, and his energy feels weak. Without hesitation, Sun Wu drinks the potion Xian crafted. His mana recovery speed surges by 500%. Then he calls out calmly, revealing that he has known for some time that Kong was targeting him. Kong senses the sudden spike in energy. Although the increase is noticeable, it does not yet feel overwhelming. Confident in his own strength, Kong steps forward and launches his attack. Sun Wu counters with condensed mana spheres, intercepting the incoming strikes. However, Kong still has 2 attacks remaining, catching Sun Wu off guard. An explosion erupts in the park. Back in the car at a safe distance, Xian sees the explosion and realizes the fight has begun. Earlier, when she asked about his expression, Sun Wu had told her they were being followed. He claimed they were likely competitors of the Hansung group and suggested moving to an isolated area so he could handle the situation without risking civilians. Xian had asked if it was an opponent he could defeat. Sun Wu admitted it would not be easy. The enemy's mana far exceeded B-class levels, but he assured her he would manage. Trusting his confidence, Xian agreed. Now, the battle intensifies. Kong, an enhancement-type fighter until his first year, moves with explosive speed and precision. Though Kong increases his attack tempo, Sun Wu manages to dodge by the narrowest margins. The potion's effect is ticking down. Less than 2 minutes remain. It is time to end this. Sun Wu activates his skill, Heart of the Great Nature, boosting his mana recovery speed by 1000% for 1 minute. Kang's eyes widen as he feels Sun Wu's energy spike dramatically. Without hesitation, Sun Wu charges forward with full force. Kang's instincts scream at him to block at all costs. Even so, Sun Wu closes the distance with alarming ease. In response, Kong summons a blazing fire spear, but Sun Wu turns the situation into an opportunity. He fires a mana sphere straight through the opening, striking Kong and pressing the attack relentlessly. He cannot afford to give Kong any breathing room. Kong blocks repeatedly, forcing Sun Wu into close-quarters combat, the only sure way to finish the fight. Finally, Sun Wu sees an opening. He moves in to grab Kong by the neck and end it decisively. But at that exact moment, the potion's side effect triggers. His body collapses into sudden mana exhaustion. Kong, though injured, is still standing. A cold smile spreads across his face as he prepares to strike the finishing blow. And then, in a single, decisive instant, Zhang Sugi arrives and takes Kong down before he can move. The battle ends just as abruptly as it began. Sword Demon Sugi is one of the strongest figures in the original storyline, a top-tier powerhouse. Xian rushes to Sun Wu's side and grabs his arm, anxiously asking if he is hurt. Sun Wu reassures her that he is not seriously injured and does not need help walking. For him, stalling for time until Xian could call for backup was worth it. At that moment, Sun Wu receives a system notification. With Kang's death, the storyline has shifted. His causality increases by 0.6. Reading the notification, Sun Wu cannot help but feel proud. Sugi then asks Xian whether he should report the incident to the chairman. After all, a deminoid attack is no ordinary matter. Sun Wu quickly suggests keeping it quiet. If word spreads that a Hansung Group executive was targeted by a deminoid, it could trigger widespread panic and unnecessary complications. In truth, Sun Wu also wants to avoid drawing attention to events that diverge from the original storyline. Xian understands the logic. Public exposure would only invite chaos and political entanglements. She orders Sugi to keep the incident confidential. 3 days later, Sun Wu lies on his bed, scrolling through his phone. As repayment for protecting her during the Kong incident, Xian had promised to provide any information he needed. The information Sun Wu requested was precise: the timing of the commercialization of the Holy Herb Potion. Today is that moment. Sun Wu empties his entire fortune and goes all in on Hansung Pharmaceutical stock. 1 minute passes. The stock price skyrockets multiple times over. Before his regression, Sun Wu spent his entire life running dungeons, and still struggled to afford even a single house. Now, wealth comes this easily. The irony makes him feel strangely relieved. Soon after, he receives a message from Cian inviting him to lunch. She mentions she has a gift for him. When Sunwoo arrives at the cafe, Cian is already waiting. Sunwoo asks about the promised gift. Cian explains that she uncovered the identity of the demonic hunter who attacked them. His name was Kong, a notorious hitman disguised as a human. During her investigation, she discovered something more disturbing. Kong frequently traded with none other than Sejin. Sunwoo already knew Sejin had dealings with demonoids, but he did not realize Kong was directly involved. He chuckles lightly, commenting that while the information is interesting, it does not feel like a personal gift. Cian then reveals the real gift, something for his future endeavors. She wanted to meet today because she expects to be busy for a while. Sunwoo asks why. Cian explains that since uncovering Sejin's connection to Kong, she believes Sejin was the mastermind behind the recent attack. Whether it is settling a debt or a grudge, she intends to deal with him. Although this conclusion stems from a misunderstanding, one fact remains true. Sejin is destined to become a villain. Eventually, he will stand in Cian's way as well. From Sunwoo's perspective, using Cian to bring down Sejin is not a bad strategy. As she prepares to leave, Cian turns back and says she personally chose the gift, hoping he will like it. After thanking her, Sunwoo opens the box. Inside is a B-rank mana alloy bracelet, a durable accessory infused with mana for enhanced defense. Sunwoo smiles, clearly pleased. But suddenly, a system window appears. It informs him that authentication access has been triggered because Haryong has developed curiosity about him. The scene shifts to Haryong, seated calmly while reviewing documents. He enters the room and greets him. He mentions that he wishes to discuss matters regarding the 10 Demon Alliance. But before that, he has a question. A few days ago, He's close associates, Jang Han and Kong, were both killed. Coincidentally, a single human mage appears to be connected to both incidents. According to Kang's investigation before his death, that same individual visited Haryong's arena not long ago. He looks directly at Haryong and asks, has he, by any chance, heard the name Jinwoo? When he mentions Sunwoo, Haryong recalls that it is the name of the VIP. He, looking very angry, asks Haryong to share any information about Sunwoo so he can avenge his fallen friend. Hearing this, Haryong releases an intense aura and warns him to be careful if he is thinking of harming one of his customers. He becomes frightened and immediately apologizes, confirming that he will not lay a hand on Sunwoo. Haryong then calms down and tells He to simply deliver the message from the 10 Demon Alliance. He explains the prophecy of a child who will turn 18 this year and bring down the king of demonic humans. Upon hearing this, Haryong understands that the king may cause trouble again. He asks if there is any other information about the child of prophecy. He reveals that the child is currently residing at the Magic Academy. The scene then shifts to Sunwoo, who has returned to the Magic Academy and decides to avoid drawing attention to himself for a while. At that moment, he receives a notification that Haryong feels curious about him, earning him 1,500 points as a reward. Sunwoo chooses not to get involved with Haryong yet, as his priority is to focus on the midterm exam. He then opens a magic enhancement scroll that can deploy a shield capable of blocking a single spell. The midterm exam is an important event where students demonstrate their skills in front of various officials. It plays a key role in shaping Sejin's future path. However, this particular exam is even more significant because of the Child of Prophecy, a future ally of Seojun, and someone born with the power to defeat the demons. According to the original course of events, demonic humans will invade the academy at 4 in the afternoon in an attempt to draw out the child, who has not yet awakened their power. All of them are expected to be defeated by Seojun. This moment serves as an important turning point, filled with key foreshadowing. Because of this, Sunwoo plans to keep a close watch on both Seojun and the Child of Prophecy. The instructor gathers all the students to make an announcement in addition to the midterm exam. The students feel frustrated, but the instructor continues and introduces autonomous sparring classes to help them prepare. Each student must find a partner today or practice on their own. Ara becomes excited and quickly partners with Seojun, just like in the original events. Sunwoo considers it a good thing that he did not step forward first. However, He is not surprised that no one approaches him. Despite showing talent in theory and barrier dispelling, he is still ranked last in the school, so no one wants to team up with him. This does not bother Sunwoo, as he has already decided on his partner. The scene shifts to Seojun and Aura as they spar. Seojun narrowly avoids her attacks, and if he had failed to dodge the last one, he would have been seriously injured. Aura mocks him, saying that if that is all he can do, she might as well take the top rank. Seojun responds calmly, warning her not to get ahead of herself, as he has not even finished warming up. Meanwhile, Yoon Haeun is practicing alone. She briefly distracts herself by watching their duel through a window, but quickly regains focus. The more she observes the skills of talented students, the more discouraged she feels. Despite ranking 82 overall, no one wants to partner with her. She is strong in theory but weak in practical application, which leads others to choose stronger partners instead. This frustrates her deeply, and she desires greater strength. She continues to train, trying to refine her skills, but no matter how hard she works, she sees little progress. Suddenly, Sunwoo arrives and begins pointing out flaws in her ice magic, criticizing her control and accuracy. She is surprised to see him, but he continues, explaining that her weak foundation is the root of her problems. Sunwoo is doing this because he feels responsible for her current situation. In the original course of events, Haeun would have improved significantly after receiving advice from Seojun during the last dungeon exploration. However, due to Sunwoo's interference, she missed that opportunity and has remained stuck at the same level. Now, he is trying to correct her mistakes and help her grow. He tells her to stay with him and assures her that he will help her improve. Even if his methods seem harsh, he is determined to make her stronger. Haeun reacts by accusing him of acting this way because of his own weaknesses, claiming that he is lowering others' confidence to make them follow him. Sunwoo continues to provoke her, asking if she is angry because she cannot argue against his points. This angers her even more. She turns to leave, saying that she once thought he was a decent person during the dungeon exploration, but now realizes she was mistaken. Sunwoo begins to wonder if he pushed too far and quickly tries to apologize. However, before he can do so, she demonstrates her abilities and challenges him to a match, wanting to see the skills of the student ranked last in the school. This outcome is exactly what Sunwoo intended. Seeing her reaction, he accepts the challenge without hesitation. While Sunwoo feels satisfied that things are going according to his plan, Haeung suddenly attacks without any warning, starting the match immediately. Sunwoo quickly steps back and notices how the intensity of her manifestation changes the moment she becomes serious. As he continues to dodge her attacks, he taunts her about her simple attack pattern, which only makes her more furious. Determined to prove him wrong, she changes her approach. She creates a magic ice spear and launches it at Sunwoo, but he easily avoids it. She is surprised, realizing that she has successfully used a technique she had been struggling to perform. The attack leaves behind a large area of ice, and Sunwoo stands at the edge of it, thinking that a person needs the right kind of stimulation to fully bring out their abilities. Seeing her reaction and her improved skill, he becomes certain that provoking her was the right decision. Still angry, Haeung attacks again and demands to know how he plans to win by only running away. In response, Sunwoo decides to go on the offensive. He explains that inexperienced manifestation users often struggle when their opponent closes the distance. He moves in quickly and prepares to strike, but stops his attack just before making contact. He then calmly states that it was a good match. Haeung accepts her defeat and realizes that she truly needs to learn from him. Sunwoo offers his hand and tells her that she has talent but does not yet know how to use it properly. He assures her that he will help her improve and asks if she wants to train together. Haeung agrees and shakes his hand, deciding to trust him this time. She even begins to call him her teacher and asks him to guide her well. The system then notifies Sunwoo that Haeung has developed an interest in him. After some time, Sunwoo begins teaching her about attribute adaptation training. He gives her a block of ice and explains that all magic begins with adapting to an element. Adaptation means understanding the nature of the element, and this determines how well a person can manifest magic. Without a strong foundation, no amount of practice will lead to real improvement. Hearing this, Haeung looks discouraged and says that she already knows about adaptation training, but she has never heard of such a method. In Sunwoo's approach, as he believes this is the fastest and most effective way to learn. Later that night, the scene shifts to Qianhe, who gathers the active demons around the academy. Their plan is to infiltrate the Magic Academy next week in order to find and eliminate the Child of Prophecy. Qianhe also reveals that they have a female student acting as a spy inside the academy, who has informed them that security will be weaker during the midterm exam period. Based on this, they finalize their plan. One of the demons is pleased, but a female demon asks why Haryong is not assisting them. Qianhe becomes irritated and explains that Haryong refused to help, claiming that Sunwoo is more important than the future of their race. This worries the female demon, who believes that 4B-ranked demons are not enough to complete the mission. However, the others dismiss her concerns, saying that such power is more than enough to deal with a single target. She then reminds them that top rankers from various guilds will be present at the academy to observe the midterm exam, making the situation far more dangerous. Qianhe has already considered this and reveals his plan to trap them inside a great demon barrier so they cannot interfere. With this barrier in place, the demons will be able to carry out their mission without interruption. Qianhe confirms that he will personally join them in order to ensure the success of the operation. The scene then returns to Sunwoo and Hayoung. She continues her training, focusing on memorizing the sensation of ice so that she can visualize and create it even without a physical source. After persistent effort, she finally succeeds in forming ice through pure visualization, and she becomes extremely happy with her progress. Sunwoo is pleased to see how much she has improved in just a few days. Because of this progress, Hayoung trusts him even more, and the system rewards him with 1,500 points. She is so happy with her results that she tells Sunwoo she will believe whatever he says from now on. Hearing this, Sunwoo feels slightly embarrassed and asks if she can handle the cold. Hayoung, still full of energy, tells him to add even more ice. Sunwoo realizes that she is pretending to be fine, even though it must be difficult for her. Still, he knows that she needs to endure a little longer in order to grow stronger and become a reliable ally for Seojun. While Hayoung stands in the pool of ice blocks, shivering from the cold, Seoyun watches her from the hallway and becomes shocked, misunderstanding the situation as Sunwoo bullying her. She quickly decides to report it to a teacher, but before she can act, Teacher Huiyang arrives and praises both Hayoung and Sunwoo for their training. Seoyun still believes Hayoung is being mistreated, but Teacher Huiyang explains that they are doing a tribute adaptation training. She reveals that she has been observing them since the first day and is impressed by how much Hayoung has improved in such a short time. What amazes her even more is Sunwoo's judgment, as he was able to quickly understand and guide his friend's weakness. Teacher Huiyang is surprised that Seoyun, who usually only remembers the names of top students, also knows Sunwoo. Seoyun tries to deny it, but the teacher advises her that it is a good idea to remember Sunwoo's name, as he is a talented individual with great potential. Even after hearing this, Seoyun still believes that Sunwoo is the lowest-ranked student in the school. She also comments that even if he helps others, it may not improve his own abilities, since people only care about results. In response, Teacher Huiyang suggests that Seoyun should give Sunwoo a fair chance, and says she is looking forward to the midterm exam. The scene then shifts to Sunwoo, who feels anxious about a special discount in the subspace shop. One of the items, a subspace pocket, can store up to 30 kilograms and allows the user to summon stored items at any time. It is extremely useful for both combat and daily life. Although the item is available at a discounted price, Sunwoo does not have enough points to buy it. This makes him worried, as he now needs to find a way to collect 12,000 points within 5 days. Soon after, Sunwoo receives a message on his phone from Teacher Huiyang, asking him to come to the faculty office after class. Once class ends, Sunwoo goes to the office along with 2 other students. Teacher Huiyang informs them that Ara, Park In-hwan, and Sunwoo have been selected for the second-year Manifestation System Special Class. This class is designed for students with high potential, regardless of their current rank. Sunwoo sees this as a good opportunity to interact more with Seojun, who is part of the Enhancement System Special Class. However, In-hwan objects to Sunwoo joining, arguing that it is unfair for someone ranked last to be grouped with higher-ranked students. He asks Ara for her opinion, but she firmly disagrees with him and says that everyone should mind their own business when it comes to the selection. This damages In-hwan's pride, but But since he raised the concern, teacher Huiyang asks for Sunwoo's response. Sunwoo calmly states that he will raise his rank if that is the issue. Teacher Huiyang accepts his answer and tells him to prove himself in the midterm exam before joining the class. She sets a condition for him to reach at least rank 80 or higher. Finally, the midterm exam begins. Sunwoo and Haeyoung create a plan to pass the test together. The second-year midterm is a cooperative battle where students form teams to fight summoned creatures known as green giants. These creatures can be defeated quickly if their weak point is targeted, but the location of the weak point changes each time and is difficult to identify. Most students focus on enduring attacks to score points, while more skilled students aim to defeat the monsters completely. The guild spectators are impressed by the performance of Aura and Seojun. Soon, it is Sunwoo and Haeyoung's turn, and they aim to achieve a high rank. As the match begins, Sunwoo instructs Haeyoung to create a path for him while he advances toward the monster. She uses her magic to form a path in the air, allowing Sunwoo to move forward quickly. The scene shifts to the spectators, many of whom expect Sunwoo to fail again. Despite this, Sunwoo receives a reward of 1,000 points, and his outsider ability activates, allowing him to detect the monster's weak points. This time, he has no intention of disappointing anyone. He successfully defeats one monster by striking its weak spot, and then turns his attention to the second one. As he prepares for the next attack, Sunwoo suddenly notices Kianhee among the spectators and becomes shocked. This distraction causes him to miss his target, leading the audience to doubt him again. However, Sunwoo is more concerned about why the mastermind is already present at the academy. According to the original events, the demons were supposed to attack after the exam ended. Lost in thought, Sunwoo is caught off guard until Haeyoung calls out to him, warning him about the incoming attack. He barely avoids it, but the impact sends him flying. In this critical moment, Haeyoung acts quickly. She attacks the monster to slow it down and rushes to Sunwoo, urging him to stay focused. She helps him back on his feet, but the monster quickly recovers and prepares to strike again. Seeing the danger, Sunwoo releases a powerful attack and defeats the monster instantly. The spectators are shocked by his strength, and even those watching through the live stream are impressed, although some believe it was just luck. Among the audience, Kim Do-kyun begins to notice Sunwoo's potential. The crowd, which once expected him to fail, now starts to support him. Hearing the praise makes Haeyoung happy, as their efforts have finally paid off. The system notifies Sunwoo of an achievement and rewards him with 7,000 points. It also notes that Do-kyun has taken an interest in him. Despite this success, Sunwoo remains concerned, as the events are starting to differ from the original storyline. Sunwoo feels very worried, wondering if his actions are starting to affect the original flow of events. If that is true, then even the way the school is supposed to be saved could change. Soon, the midterm rankings are announced. Seojun and Aura take first place, while Sunwoo and Haeyoung secure second place. Haeyoung notices that Sunwoo is sweating and asks with concern if he is alright. Sunwoo smiles and tells her not to worry, saying that he is just tired. He asks her to go to the training room first and give him feedback later. This makes Haeyoung worry, as she thinks she might have made a mistake during the exam. However, Sunwoo reassures her that she did perfectly today. Hearing this makes her very happy, and she thanks him before heading to the training ground, telling him to rest well. After she leaves, Sunwoo decides to check how much the story has changed. To confirm whether things are still following the original path, he goes to the place where Seojun is supposed to be. When he arrives, he finds Seojun surrounded by recruiters, just like in the original story. They are offering him various deals, trying to convince him to join their guilds. Seojun finds the situation difficult and politely tries to refuse, but the recruiters continue to pressure him. At that moment, Sunwoo steps in and tells Seojun that teacher Jang Ancheol is looking for him to discuss his results. The recruiters immediately recognize Sunwoo as the last-ranked student and begin talking about him. Seojun understands Sunwoo's intention and plays along, leaving with him to avoid the situation. With Seojun gone, the recruiters decide to stay and watch the third-year exams. Young Hyunsu from the Special Task Force asks his senior, Kim Do-kyun, about Seojun's performance. Do-kyun praises Seojun, but Hyunsu comments that he seems suitable to become the third disciple of Chairman Kim Jinchul, the strongest mage. Since they came to recruit Seojun after his graduation, Qian adds that Seojun is still lacking in real combat experience. Hyunsu starts to argue, but Qian tells him to stay quiet and asks why he came along. Hyunsu explains that he regretted missing the chance to speak with Seojun during the Han River incident and believes it would have been a valuable combat experience for him. Their conversation shifts to Sunwoo, who appears to have significant combat experience, as he can quickly identify the weak points of monsters. Hyunsu laughs at the idea, saying that an 18-year-old should not have that level of experience. Qian agrees, but he still finds it strange. He also notices a similarity between Sunwoo and Jinwoo, and finds it unusual that someone his age can use such advanced techniques. Because of this, he decides to remember Sunwoo's name. Meanwhile, Sunwoo takes Seojun to watch the third-year exam. Seojun thanks him for the help and asks why they came here. Sunwoo casually replies that it is useful to observe next year's exam in advance. Seojun then expresses concern about being approached by recruiters again, but Sunwoo reassures him that they will not run into them here. In reality, Sunwoo came here because the main attack is supposed to begin in the third-year exam hall, where it is easiest for the enemy to contact the spy inside the academy. Since he does not know exactly when the attack will start, he plans to keep Seojun safe while searching for Qianhee. He believes this is the fastest way to protect the child of prophecy. To better understand the situation, Sunwoo asks Seojun if anything unusual happened after the exam, but nothing has changed. This reassures Sunwoo that the original flow is still mostly intact. The first sparring match of the third year begins, building excitement among the spectators. The scene then shifts to Qianhee, who is speaking with another demon named Yangyan. She confirms that the scouts have entered the third-year exam hall, just as their spy reported. When Qianhee asks about the rest of the plan, she explains that monster summoning circles have been placed throughout the school. One dangerous entity has been hidden in a secluded area because it becomes uncontrollable around humans. Qianhee praises her preparation, and she thanks him for joining them. With everything ready, Qianhee begins casting the Great Demon Barrier. Back at the exam hall, Park Minnie forfeits her match after realizing the difference in strength between herself and the top student, Kim Changhyun. Watching this excites Seojun, but Sunwoo remains focused on searching for Qianhee. He scans the area throughout the match, but Qianhee does not appear, which makes him uneasy. Seojun asks what he is looking for, but Sunwoo brushes it off, saying he was just wondering if any guilds might try to recruit him. Seojun reassures him that someone will notice his growth soon. As they continue talking, Seojun asks how Sunwoo improved so quickly, but before he can finish his question, everything changes. Suddenly, Qianhee's barrier appears, shocking everyone present. Sunwoo is especially stunned, as this event never happened in the original story. The spectators try to escape the barrier, but no one is able to get out. Some attempt to contact the teachers for help, but nothing works. People outside the barrier are just as shocked, as they have no idea what is happening. Suddenly, the monster summoning devices activate, releasing goblins that immediately begin attacking people. An emergency broadcast warns everyone in the academy about the monster attack and tells them to evacuate, but the message is cut off shortly after. Qianhee is pleased, as all the teachers and scouts who could fight are trapped inside the barrier, leaving no one to respond quickly. This situation is meant to force the child of prophecy to reveal themselves. As the goblins rush forward, Qian steps in and begins defeating them one by one. Qianhee becomes irritated upon noticing the presence of the special task force, wondering how they arrived so quickly. Inside the barrier, everyone is informed that the special task force had come to watch Seojun's match and is now fighting monsters and rescuing people. Seojun feels relieved after hearing this. Another student tells him to join the fight once the barrier is lifted and to trust the teachers for now. Sunwoo understands that with the task force involved, the situation can still be controlled, but the main problem is how to break the barrier. The people inside grow anxious and beg the mages to save them. Support-type teacher Kim Yeonjin is also inside and explains that she needs another A-rank support mage to help break the barrier. The problem is that no such mage is present, as support-type mages are very rare. She adds that it would take about 30 minutes to break the barrier alone, and there is no way to predict what could happen in that time. Sunwoo realizes that the issue is not just the time required. The real problem is that the barrier is extremely difficult to break. Qianhee's technique is among the best, and even in the original events, it could not be easily overcome. Just as Sunwoo considers stepping in, Yonghyun arrives and offers to help break the barrier from the outside. Sunwoo recognizes that she is actually a demon, but accusing her now would only create confusion and slow down the rescue, so he stays silent. Teacher Yunjin begins working with her to break the barrier. Seo-jun tells Sunwoo that things should be resolved soon if the teachers are handling it, but Sunwoo disagrees, which makes Seo-jun uneasy. Without explaining further, Sunwoo asks Seo-jun to come with him, and they move to another side of the barrier. As Teacher Yunjin continues her work, she notices something unusual. Each time she unlocks one part of the barrier, another lock appears elsewhere. She realizes that instead of being weakened, the barrier is being reinforced. Kian-hee, hidden among the crowd, notices that she has figured it out and summons a monster to distract her. Meanwhile, Dio-kian and Hyunsu continue defeating goblins. Some of the creatures suddenly turn toward Yonghyun, acting as if they are attacking her. Seeing this, Dio-kian and Hyunsu rush to protect her. After defeating the goblins, they realize that she is trying to break the barrier from the outside as well. They decide to guard her while she continues her work, unaware that she is actually strengthening the barrier. At the other side, Sunwoo tells Seo-jun that they will break the barrier from there. Seo-jun is confused and asks about the teachers who are already working on it. Sunwoo then reveals that the support mage helping them is actually a demon pretending to assist. Seo-jun is shocked and suggests informing everyone, but Sunwoo stops him. He explains that he has no proof, and there is no guarantee that people will believe him. Instead, Sunwoo decides to break the barrier himself, while Seo-jun informs the others. He believes that people will listen to Seo-jun, as he is widely recognized for his talent. Seo-jun agrees and then asks if Sunwoo is truly capable of breaking the barrier. Without hesitation, Sunwoo begins and breaks the barrier with ease. This shocks Seo-jun, as well as Yonghyun and Kian-hee. After breaking it, Sunwoo tells Seo-jun to go and handle the situation. However, before leaving, Seo-jun asks why Sunwoo is hiding his role, saying that people should recognize his strength. Sunwoo simply replies that this is enough for him and asks Seo-jun to keep everything that just happened a secret. Meanwhile, Kian-hee becomes furious with Yonghyun, thinking she failed to maintain the barrier. On the other hand, Yonghyun is also surprised, as she knows she had secured it properly, yet someone still broke through. The scouts then thank Yonghyun and Teacher Yunjin for breaking the barrier and declare that they will take care of the remaining monsters from here.